This is going to be a VOD review of a 17 Necrotic Wake that was just barely not timed. I've been starting to push higher keys lately, and with Necrotic Wake in particular, at least as a Brewmaster, I've had a ton of trouble with finding good pug routes and having people do things with the items like I expect to. So I made a couple of routes, and they've been going pretty good. This one is fortified. I thought maybe I'd just do a review of what went wrong. Maybe it'll help somebody else. And a quick review of the route. So the route is very similar to what people do in most pugs, except a few adjustments on fortified with the intent of getting prides for this necromancer pack over here, as well as the left side of the room up in the Stitchworks. So we start off, we pull this entire platform, we have someone grab the hammer, pull this, I grab the spear. One thing I like about this route is that I'm in control of a lot of things as a tank, so I don't have to depend on pugs to do things. So I'll grab the spear, and I'll hold for Amarth upstairs, or after Amarth upstairs. Then we do the Kyrian stuff, kill the boss, the usual things, pull everything that moves. Over here, we're going to do a pride right after this pull, and I've been using the orbs to kill the pride, and then the pride to kill these things, skipping everything here. I grab this orb too, so I control that. I have one of the DPS pick up the spear. Over here, we burst them down as fast as we can. I can't work this Goliath into the route, unfortunately, because the timer on the Kyrian guy won't be up just yet. But if you go to the right, the other DPS, I'll have them pick up the other hammer, and they'll hold for the last boss. We kill everything over here, basically. Everything besides this monstrosity. That gives us pride. Over here, so we can just delete this pack, which is super dangerous. I use orb in this pack too. Then we have to kind of backtrack just to kill the monstrosity, so count works out. But other routes have backtracks as well. I figured doing backtrack here, it's less distance to do the backtrack, and we just get it out of the way. People don't like have to not click on the angels over here when they go upstairs. It's been okay. And everything over here is clear at this point too, so there's lots of room to fight. But you go over here, we kill Amarth. I think the DPS will use the spear on Amarth. I will replenish my orb here. Upstairs, basically pull the whole right side of the room, pull the whole left side of the room. After the right side of the room, you have a pride. Left side of the room, the tank, at this point, which is me, will have an orb and a spear. So we can just like delete this entire side of the room really quickly. It's kind of nice. But after that point, it's really straightforward and linear. You just, kill the mobs that spawn and kill the boss. So I'll start the actual review. We didn't time it. The rogue DCs in the beginning, and a couple of mistakes were made from a few people, but it wasn't too bad. I like to do this pull like that. I like to do a chi burst out there. I feel like it's a nice way to just have them come over, get some damage onto them. They'll die pretty easily. One good thing too about pulling this guy with the first pack is that you don't need to have a rogue to sap him and grab that hammer. So another advantage. Another thing to not have to worry about telling bugs to do. And this week is Spiteful Quaking, so the affixes are really nice, at least for me. This same route is actually a lot harder for me to do on my warrior, I find, just because Brewmaster has so many options for actually controlling mobs that I'm lacking on the warrior, who is Necro right now. So he just has a banner. He can't really do anything. Like the Kyrian or the Night Fae abilities would actually be a lot more welcome on him. But this is fine. This is not a scary pull. Maybe we should have lusted here. It's fortified. That's probably something we should have done actually. We do lust on the boss, but the boss goes down really quickly with the orbs and pride. So I think that's probably something that I should just do in the future. Just waiting for Spiteful Shades to come up. Yeah, nothing too crazy going on here either. I think I told the rogue before to always be on the harvesters, and he mostly did that. And then I would take care of the vanguard via meat shield. But whenever he misses things, I can just like paralyze or leg sweep or bring a peace boop. Disease spell is actually pretty nice here too. I think I should spell faster in the future though. One thing that I did not do here, which I definitely should be doing, is summoning my Kyrian companion guy down here. I learned this the hard way, but he has a 5-minute cooldown, and if you don't actually summon him early, you may not have him back to get the second Goliath orb. That's very sad. I still do it in time here, though. I just have to... There's no downside to doing it as early as possible. I used to be Night Fae, so being Night Fae, I never really did any of this stuff before. But I switched over just because the Kyrian pots and starting to push higher keys, it was making a huge difference. And now that I did it, actually I'm really glad, because Weapons of Order is a lot more powerful, or at least it feels a lot more powerful than Fateline Stomp does. Although 9.1 looks like it might be a bit better for group healing, but yeah, this is totally good. I feel like we took a lot of damage. And maybe I should have actually used Fortifying Brew earlier on, because Stitchflesh, or whoever his name is, Blightbone, doesn't really do anything too scary, so I probably should have just used it on this pack. This pack is probably a lot scarier than him. But it'll be Pride after this. One thing that is kind of hard to do is hit these Blight Bags at the right time. Like, I probably should be pulling them in with that pack. So they're kind of like free kills and count. They don't summon Spiteful, I don't think, either. They kind of just die. Like passive AoE stuff. And I definitely have to use for it. But yeah, I'm inching back towards the Goliath because my plan is get these orbs spawned around like 10-15% on the Spiteful, and then use those orbs into Blightbone.
Yes, the steward's job is never done.
Yeah, I feel like the rogue had really low DPS. I'm not sure what was going on. He's kind of lagging out the entire time. He wasn't too bad though, but something was action. Yeah, so we had the orbs. Having a Kyrian here is way better than not having a Kyrian here, just because these little worms just like vanish when we all have these orbs on us. The orbs just like pulse out damage basically to things around us. It's like a mini version of the orb you can pick up here. I mean, he's already... So one thing that also happens with pugs is like they stand over here, and I have to try to say like, come in, careful not to... yeah, I do it right here. I have to make like a emote wheel or something that I can just like say these things quickly. Oh, and he evaded. That was so weird. He was like stuck in the stairs. Yeah, so go around the outside of the corpse, I guess, to avoid that. But yeah, I've had pugs pull the Wandering Blightbone Blight Bags. And I dispelled that guy's disease as well. The Pally's a bit slow on doing that. He's dead. And now I race to the middle to try and get like whatever I can in terms of the Blight Bags and Pats and soldiers and stuff. This was a good enough size, I felt. I always do huge DPS on this pack just because I have weapons up and the Ox. Yeah, like I'm doing like more than the DPS here. It's always like a fun pack. Big shield. They actually do kind of hit hard though when you have 5 of them. Just keeping them in Hunter's Spirits. Yeah, this isn't like a spirit pack. But the thing that I'm keeping in mind here, in the back of my mind, is like these guys. Like I need these guys, and they're such a buggy pack too. Like one of them always doesn't come. Like, I should try to get the head of the pack more often if I can. Because I think it happens here too. So that is a head of the pack that I get, actually. But one of them still doesn't come. Like, what's that guy doing? It's crazy. So now I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to wait until he gets a good pad again. Then I see him over there, I'm like, okay, I gotta take this chance to go grab him. Yeah, back in there. That's really annoying. That would be on my DK. I guess any of the tanks could really yank that one guy in, but everything just feels so good with the monk. He has so much mobility. I could have like ported back if I wanted to, but for whatever reason I didn't. Over here. Nothing too special about this pack. So far, this is like pretty much the route that most people do in bugs, even in Lokis. Yeah, I tell the rogue to like default to interrupting condom in general, just like as an attempt to have us like coordinate our kicks. Maybe using dampen would be good here. Just a short cooldown. I have so many high fields. 17s don't feel too bad actually. The hardest part about 17s is honestly finding groups, unfortunately. So we kill them. So up here, what's going to happen is you'll have just that one pack, and then you'll summon a Pride. So you have a small pack. Feels a little inefficient, but I haven't thought of a better way of getting it done. And there's no one good to pull downstairs at this point either. So we just suck it up and kill them. I do have my dude out, my guy. The hardest part about fixing this Goliath though is like clicking on him in all of this madness. Like I need to click on him to ask him to repair the Goliath. Which is very unfortunate. I kinda wish it was just like a button that you press or something. Or right click it. But here it goes, it's gonna spit out its stuff. I think we should have a bit after the Pride as well. Yeah, the Pally joins in too. Nice. And I still have like 47 seconds. Even though we had like big damage here, like it just feels like always paralyze the mage. There's no reason to worry about having to knock kick the volleys and stuff. Yeah, so here he knows he's gonna shroud, but he doesn't know that I want him to shroud along this side. So bugs are always so like let's go. And it was also my intention to get this orb for myself, but the hunter ended up getting it, so I just had him do something instead. Yeah, and here like the rogue was just like lagging out totally. Oh my god, I was so afraid that we'd mess that up. I was also really afraid that these things would go off and hit them. That was fucking scary. I didn't think of that. Someone grab the spear. Here we're gonna kill these two guys. Normal stuff. I'll skip a bit forward. And the way that you are supposed to do these guys is supposed to just like kind of sandbag until they have their shield up. Because if you burst their shield down, they just die. But I think we missed like 2 rounds of shields, which was another mistake. Like so far, there's like 2 mistakes that really lost it for us. Like the rogue DC in the beginning, and this pack right here. Like if this didn't happen, we probably would have timed it too. Yeah, but this ended up taking forever to kill this guy. But we do kill him. Now we're going around this right side. I had another route where we ended up having to like weave between these paths, and that just the pugs always pulled these little paths. So I had to. Like, it was kind of nice to do when it worked, but it's so rare that it worked. This is kind of a sketchy pull to me, sometimes because I feel like it's gonna aggro if it's not done right, but This is another big AoE pull. I probably should fort here. I dampen. Okay. Okay. It's been a while since I used fort. I think I just have to make sure to use fort more. My my ocarina needs to be reapplied. That was my bull rush, the racial for High Mountain Tauren. All of my tanks are High Mountain Tauren just because like bull rush is so crazy strong. It's like another AoE interrupt knockdown that doesn't DR with stuns. It's like so powerful, and a movement ability. On the monk it's not huge, but on the DK it's actually really nice. So here I kind of mess up. I should have pulled them right there. My intention is to pull this pack with that pack, but it was just like the first time I'm doing the route, and it didn't really work out that way. And I kind of try to compensate too quickly without telling people what I'm doing, and like because the monstrosity is in such a good spot right now to grab these guys, I don't want to have to wait for other paths. But I can't do any AoE, any ranged interrupting, and like the hunter just doesn't get what's going on here. So like this guy, he's just free over there. I can't get him back in, and then I'm focusing on trying to get this guy back in, but everyone's dying. We end up wiping here. Yeah, I'm trying to like find time to type to tell the guy to like range interrupt, please. But yeah, at this point I just kind of we give up. He releases, which definitely feels bad. Luckily we have a warlock, so we summoned him back. I'll just skip through all that stuff. I have no idea where he is, so I don't accept yet because I want to aggro. So we do that. We get them all back to life. This was also a huge time sink too. If this didn't happen, we would have timed it pretty easily too. But my intention now is to do the exact same thing. And now he knows, like, interrupt the range guy, please. Yeah, there we go, beautiful. Now we just power through these guys. So we spawn Pride here, which like the whole point of this route is spawning Pride here, so we can just guaranteed delete that next Necromancer pack. Probably just taught him, yeah. At this point, all I have is shields. I got no cooldowns. So Pride's at 17. Don't feel too bad though. I'm probably more afraid of the Holy Pally healing than I am of just like Pride in general. I definitely feel like the healing on the Holy Pally was a bit low. And this is another reason I have to like get like these emote wheels or something that I can just click. Like there's an add-on right here, and I want the rogue to get it, but it's kind of hard to tell pugs to do that right away. And it's actually kind of dangerous to type as a Brewmaster, because if you don't have if you're not spamming, you know, your rotation, then you end up losing your active negation. But I still para him. And then because the hunter got the orb, I tell him to use the orb, but typically I would use the orb here as well. I would use most weapons, which is nice. And the good thing that the rogue blinds that guy, he gets what's going on. So after this pull, this is like a tricky part as well, in terms of like coordinating with the pugs. We have to backtrack over the pillar. Going over this pillar is kind of annoying. I should have just clicked this. I didn't realize that it actually would have worked, but I know how to get over the pillar. But I did ask the lock to put the gate there, just so that he can use the pillar. Yeah, exactly. Going over it one way is good, but then this going back is like kind of awkward for some reason.
Beware.
Yeah.
Beware.
And I don't see a lot of people pulling this guy anymore. I don't know if it's like frowned upon to pull this guy, but my feeling is he's pretty easy. He doesn't do too much, even though I get hit by the spikes anyway. But he's not that strong of a mob. It just feels inefficient because he's one mob, I think. But he is the perfect count for this route.
Beware.
So I thought it was not that bad, and I still haven't applied my trinket because we're so like pressed for time. When I know people in the group, I have one of them start the RP during the Necromancer fight, or right after a Necromancer fight before coming here as well. That really speeds up the Amarth. that might have actually made the difference between timing it and not timing it. It'd be very sad too. But we kill him, we go back over, go to Amarth.
Deny me the sky? Then
Yeah, I think I have someone else use their spear here, because I definitely want an orb and a spear in my possession
Foolish paragon. There is nothing you can do
for
to
the upstairs
stop us.
on Fortified Peak. So this guy, we bloodlust this guy, and I have one of the DPS use their spear. I hope they use it the good way, which would be to target, you know, a mob that comes up in the distance and shoot it through a bunch of mobs. So I CC this guy, but someone doesn't understand that, and it gets broken somehow. Yeah, like someone just attacked it. I'm not sure why. Probably a hunter frontal AoE thing that they do. Although, yeah, probably the hunter. I'm not sure why hunters sometimes. So I kind of give up on doing that anymore. I should have definitely used my AoE abilities here. That was a mistake. But nothing too eventful on Amarth. He kind of just dies. I think I tried to CC again. Yeah, okay, nice. Someone else CCs. But I think someone else breaks. But it's like an ice trap. I don't know who broke. Maybe the hunter broke his own trap? That was... Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on there. Looks like I used my cooldowns on the second wave for some reason. I think I Todd this guy because I'm really scared that he's gonna blow up on us. I guess the rogue just said in that, but yeah, I think we ignore this one because we're so close. Yeah. So now we can be done with the downstairs. No more backtracking. Yeah, so I like the upstairs now that they have an actual route for it. Before the route, it felt kind of like I was just randomly pulling things, just like whatever was close. But now there's actually a purpose to the order of pulling. There's this cleaver here, and I think I get this guy in it. I at least want to make sure that I'm tanking the cleaver, but it looks like he got kind of chunked there, so I'm not sure. Did the pally get hit? Oh yeah, he went off. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Thought that would have hit me. But yeah, nothing special on this pack. Just the idea here is like always I'm looking over my shoulder to find out like when are these spare parts coming so I can throw some AoE at them. But they tend to like not really respect my aggro very much. But they die, and also after this pack, the next thing you do right away, the second you can do it, is grab this pat, this big pat over here. Yeah, but typically when I do this, they're actually over here still, so that means that we were kind of slow on damage. But these guys are definitely a lot scarier than they used to be on lower keys. I think I actually die a few times up here, but I think the healing is actually just a little low when I die. Like running with like druids and shamans and even like mistweavers, the healing I can count on, like a holy pally seems definitely very low.
Beware.
Even though his HPS is actually super high, higher than I thought it'd be. Yeah, so now I'm at 4 stacks, so now I'm scared.
Beware.
We're good though. Yeah, he applies these things and you just take a ton of damage. Higher the stacks are. So round 3, I'm like, okay, let's do this, and then at 4, I'm really getting scared. I definitely have to run. Yeah, he's just doing the same thing, same move.
Beware.
It's pretty easy to drop the stacks, but you just have to like time it right, and I haven't really done that too well yet. one thing I hate is like this thing, Purifying Brew, always lights up on the default action bars. It always wants me to, like, I feel like I want to press it, but it's too soon. Like, if I listen to this, like, it would just be gone right away and I have nothing left. These things are the thing, are like my own weak auras instead.
Beware.
So, like, just respect them. That was me bull rushing out, summoning everybody, coming back, but I didn't, like, I shouldn't have done that so soon. I should have waited until this was lower, so that it actually dropped. Because I actually, yeah, it gets reapplied, and that was all for nothing.
Beware.
I taught him. So after this pull, his pride, and just make sure you pull him a bit back. Like, I guess over here there's no risk. But right after this pride, we're gonna just delete the entire left side of the room with me using orb and spear. I think also the spear ends up critting, and I'm doing like 150 like K DPS or some crazy thing. They definitely all like just immediately get deleted, which I was really surprised by. So here we have pride. The hard part is like I try to tell him like make sure he's kicked, so he's in the group with everyone. Here I do weapons of order, I think, yeah. And I trigger off the orb. I clash this guy back in. I do the spear, and they're like all gone. Like 200k DPS, yeah. And then it's all like prides. So I definitely really like doing that. And if like having the tank do this is just like required. Like the person that does it is gonna take all the aggro, and the only downside I think is that I probably don't dodge or parry while I'm casting the spear, so I'm taking like a ton of damage. I think I got pretty low. Maybe I should pop a defensive instead. But that makes up some time. These guys, you just want to like make sure that they're near each other. So we do this, but I think someone doesn't realize that they're targeted by this guy instead of that guy, so I have to like tank it for him. But it's fine, it doesn't do too much damage. But we do miss out on doing damage to him. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so nothing too special here. More shades. This I think is the pack that I die. Oh no, is it? I guess, I don't know, we'll see. I think it's the other pack actually. I think I use Fort here after I start getting stacks.
Beware.
Because I'm so scared of these stacks. Oh yeah, maybe I do die. Yeah. Actually I died with Fort. And so my healthstone was totally bugged. I was spamming it and I just like can't use it for some reason. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on with that.
Beware.
I don't have my potion back up yet, fortunately.
Beware.
I think that's also a frontal. Be careful about aiming this guy. Yeah. For the bleed and
beware.
but it looks like the stacks dropped off, which is pretty good. And I still haven't. Yeah. So that was that. Yeah, I'm just like running for my life here. I probably outrange him, but like I didn't have much of a choice. And here I'm looking for like, where's my healthstone? Like, why can't I use my healthstone? I don't understand. Do I even have one anymore? Like, where is it? Like, it says 1, but I don't see it. That's sad. And because of that, I wasn't releasing in time, so now I come back up and they're in the middle of a pull.
Beware.
Yeah, so I try to just like get aggro really quick again.
Beware.
But after this part, it's pretty smooth.
Beware.
A bunch of like obvious little mistakes there. Yeah, just killing him. DPS kind of slow.
Beware.
We got pride here. The thing to make sure is that you just don't pull the pride too close to the boss. This guy, yeah, he was really scaring me. I thought he would end up aggroing the dude. I gotta type that out. Yeah, don't aggro. It's really gotta be a better way of communicating with pugs than typing. We can just kill this pride. Then do the normal stitch thing. Cool. So one thing that I definitely have to not do is I'm in this habit of, like, when he comes down, I immediately taunt him and then start aggroing him. But because I did that, I didn't have taunt for when he gets aggro pulled because the hunter's crazy DPS. And because I taunted him, he's like speed buffed, so he's like chasing him down. it was very sad. And because he's speed buffed, like the guy couldn't hit him with the hook either. So that's the other side of the coin for our DPS, for our speed taunt ability. And actually, if that didn't happen either, we would have timed it as well. So now we just do it all over again. If we had one phased it, then we definitely actually timed it. But yeah, nothing left here really. I think he does actually connect this time, which is nice. Guys, they go upstairs, and here at this point we have like hammers, and I just tell the DPS to use them whenever the shield comes up. It's nice to make sure that damage doesn't keep on pumping out with the shield up too long.
Beware.
I don't think anything eventful happens here. Oh, but yeah, you see that? I did actually reapply my flute,
Beware.
my ocarina. Finally. I'm usually better about that. So here, I like to just do like a small circle, like that, but we were all kind of bunched up. So it was hard to try to predict where the other guys would go. Big shield.
Beware.
Here, speed taunt him out, I assume. Yeah. And actually, I think the warlock dies here, and we still could have timed it. So it was like we made a ton of mistakes, and we still could have timed it. If the warlock gets dispelled later on instead of dying, we would have had it. Yeah, he needs to be dispelled right now. But he does not get dispelled. Yeah, that's that. Maybe there are still people inside.
Beware.
Yeah, so might have been able to actually time it still after all of that. They end up only being like 40 seconds. So, not terrible, not great, but the route is definitely nice. I like having it. I like being able to just delete that half of the room. I like being able to control all of the things without having to have pugs involved in the crucial details. Sometimes they grab orbs too early, but so far it's the best fortified route. I'll put the fortified MDT route in the description as well. Hopefully save someone else trial and error routes for Necrotic Wake, which I think is like the hardest route to pug with, just because there's so many options. It's non-linear. There's all these items you have to manage and decide. So good luck to you if you do it. Otherwise, see ya.